Hello, and welcome back to S'mores, Campfire Talk. Today, I'm back with the one and only, so go around the room, introduce yourself real quick.
I am Kaylee.
Jade.
I'm Ricky.
Bentley.
Isabel.
And so today, we have a certain topic that we're going to be discussing, and straight off the bat, there is no wrong or right answer to this. I feel like this is just a discussion that we would have anyways, but it's kind of intriguing to see what everybody else's perspectives on this is. We started off with a question, and so I wanted to leave it to the room today of who wants to start or whatever, but basically the topic at hand is what makes somebody deserve something.
Ooh. I'm guessing.
Didn't
you know the
question?
Want to go first?
It's like I didn't even know that was the question.
So who would like to start first?
I'll go ahead. When I think of deserve, I kind of like the word. I think of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of I'd rather say earn. But if you look up the definition of earn, it kind of has deserve in it in a way. I looked up the difference between the two, and pretty much deserve said what you get based on past kind of things you did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And then earn's kind of what you're doing now and gaining and through achievement and success and stuff like that.
Mm.
So when I think of deserve, it seems more of a moral concept than
Like a hard definition.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about what you feel, because you can see a lady in a bad situation, yo, she deserves more. She does more. She's a good person. You can see an a-hole at the top of a company or whatever. He doesn't deserve that. You can you can go both ways, and it's just I don't like that.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
But then again, it's sort of about the rich man on the top. What makes him not deserve it as well? What hasn't he gotten to a certain place? What is the point of deserving something in a way?
Exactly.
So, and yours is more if you've earned it in a way. Is that what you were saying? Or
Yeah, I like to think more on the earning thing. For example, state champion.
mm-hmm.
You could say I deserve that because I work hard or whatever. Everybody else in that heat, I would say, worked hard. That's how they got to the heat.
Mm-hmm.
But I earned it. That's how I won or whatever. I wouldn't say I deserved it, because you the people that lost, you can say they deserved it. You can't say they earned it because they didn't get it. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm more concrete on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Does anybody else have anything to go off of that?
So you're kind of basing off deserving how it ties with earned. You're talking about the two words that are kind of they exist with each other, definition wise.
Yeah.
But they can split off and mean different things.
Yeah. I don't like the kind of entitlement word, but they roughly do have the same definition.
Mm-hmm. Going off of what Troy said, I think the deserving feeling is just, it's all based on your perception of how things are going on. So going back to Troy's example of the rich man, even though he's an a-hole, he's doing what he thinks he deserves, which is making sure his company or whatever he's doing is right. To him, even though he's putting down somebody else, it's in his perspective, it's bringing him up to what he deserves. Okay. I'm not saying it's right, but in a way, to win state championship, you had to take down those other people. You had to they thought they deserved it, but you thought you deserved it too, and you worked hard because of all the work you put in. So you had to move them out of the way from something that they thought they deserved. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's it.
So that's what came to mind when you said the rich a-hole and the hardworking. Yeah, they're both doing what they think they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
What they think.
Yeah.
Their perspective.
And so, Ricky, did you have your own definition of what you thought, what makes somebody deserve something?
I wouldn't say I guess going off of what I said just now, it's all based on what you want. In order to get what you want, other people can't have the same thing. You think you deserve it, so if you deserve it, you're gonna believe that you're entitled to it, to have it. And then for you to have something, it cannot belong to anybody else.
Okay. That's an intriguing perspective on deserve.
That's what I'm thinking about deserving.
Your perspective on deserve is that the person themselves thinks that they deserve it.
Exactly. It's your outlook on how things are going and like what you want
Mm-hmm.
and what you believe. It's like it can be, for example, another example, a dictator who takes over like a country.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he deserves power and money and whatever else he wants. And he believes it with all of his heart. He will get rid of people to get what he wants.
So, a counter question. If somebody doesn't believe that they deserve something,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean that they don't deserve it because they think that they don't? Or do they still deserve it?
I think if they don't think they deserve it, it's a question they have to ask themselves of what they want. So they have to be honest with themselves and ask what they really want and figure out the course of action of like, what are they not being truthful with themselves, whether it be a relationship with a person or denying something about yourself that makes you think you don't deserve like that job because you don't think you're good enough, or things aren't going your way in this relationship or something like that because you think you're less. It's something you have to look inward inside yourself to like see what are you not being truthful with yourself.
Does anybody want to add to that at all?
Yes. When I was talking earlier, because we were like, I like what you said, but like when I was talking earlier, my perspective was more people on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people in the like saying like I deserve state champion. I'm thinking of like someone in the stand saying that like towards me or something or towards someone else instead of like me saying it.
Yeah.
That was where like we were different in definition, I guess you could say.
Right. And we're not the same person. So like your definition was like, yeah, your definition was from outside. Mine was more of what do you think? Yeah.
And can you repeat your question?
Somebody doesn't believe that they deserve something. Does that mean that they don't deserve it? Let's say that somebody's like done a tremendous amount of work, but they still don't believe, and that sort of like falls into like self-confidence as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do they not deserve it because they don't think they do? Is that mean that they are undeserving of what they have?
Like, I'm still kind of like through like the perspective of outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
but like you guys say, like what makes or like would they be undeserving? How would anybody tell that?
That's like the thing.
That's
And this is why this is like sort of like an open conversation. There's no concrete like what makes you deserve something and what doesn't make you deserve something, but it's sort of like the aspects of what you might think that it is. So for me, I've heard this argument a lot, and I don't know who exactly said it to me first, but I had the example of singers like Post Malone and Billie Eilish, and they gained success as they were very young, and a lot of people were like, oh, they like don't deserve it. They blew up so fast and it worked like 10 years. They weren't like an overnight. But at the same time, they handled it. And I feel like a part of deserving it is if you're able to handle what comes with it. So if you were able to handle the calories that come with the hamburger you're about to eat, you deserve the hamburger. If you're like willing to like get wet in order to jump into the pool, you deserve to swim in a way. Like if you're able to handle the aspects of what you're about to do, I feel like you in a way deserve it. Now, if you're not able to handle it, does that mean you don't deserve it? That sort of like flips around. Like it depends on the situation sort of thing. But like whenever I hear people say like, oh, Post Malone didn't deserve his success, I'm like, but he's handled it. He's like handling it. That in itself like brings its own struggles in a way. Success is a struggle as well as like poverty is a struggle sort of thing. And so if you're able to handle what comes with the price you're about to pay, I feel like in a way you deserve it. So like for your state championship example, you put in that work, you put in all that time, and you were able to handle the position of state champ sort of thing. Like people crumble under pressure. You were able to handle that and like you're able to uphold that position. And so I'm like, okay, he deserves state champion in a way. But that doesn't mean that no one else deserved that as well, because they were probably able to handle that like position. that's one aspect I feel like of what makes somebody deserve something is if they can handle it.
So in that definition, it's like deserve equals responsibility, basically.
In a way, yeah. In a way.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like in a way you deserve whatever you want because you are a human being. Like, you're alive, like, you know, like you're a human. So I feel like in any case, like there's a baseline of like you deserve at least that much. Like everybody's here, everybody's alive. But it's like as much as I think I go along with like your perspective of it, as much as you can handle, like that's as much as you deserve in a way. I don't know. It seems like there's like an individual personal definition and then also, I don't know what you want to call it, objective, possibly, reason, or like rounded, like worldly, like what do people deserve? Yeah. Because that would be my thing. It's like both things. It's like a base of like, yeah, you deserve anything you want. You're a person. Do you deserve? I think an example is like if you have, like we all have talents, right? We all have things that we're good at. Like if you don't use those, I feel like you already have a responsibility to use those things to the best of your ability. If you have a talent, if you're good at something, and if you don't do it, then you could say that like you didn't deserve in a way what you were given. That's a responsibility in a way. Like talent is responsibility to me. It's like you were given this thing, you don't know where it comes from. You need to use it. Like you need to bring about like its fullest potential. It's like if you don't do it, then it's like, oh, you didn't use it. Like you didn't deserve. You're also given it, so somebody thinks you deserve it. You know what I mean?
So for you, like responsibility is like you said, like goes hand in hand. The part of you deserving what you have and like using what you have as well.
Yeah.
So with yours, Kaylee, it's more of like what you're given. If it's not used like it's supposed to, like what it could be, is undeserving.
Yeah, in a way.
But do you two have any like personal definitions of what deserve means, or just have anything to add to what's been going on?
So, okay. I kind of agree, I guess, with three of you, I guess. So I agree that, yeah, like what Kaylee said, if you have a talent that you can use, I agree that you should use it. But at the same time, like going off what you said, obviously like Billie Eilish and Post Malone, like using them as an example, they had the talent to get them to where they wanted to be. So you can say, oh yeah, they deserved it. But also going off what Bentley said, that was also people on the outside thinking that they also deserved it. And that's why they got big so fast, is people like, oh, hey, like they have the talent, they're trying to do something with it, they deserve something. So I feel like it's kind of a mix of what you decide to do and like, yeah, what you want. But also, there's also the combination of outside forces on, I guess, whether if you deserve something or not. Because if you can have the talent, you can think, I deserve this all I want. But if you're arrogant, saying, oh no, I deserve this, and yeah, you're putting in the work and you're talented, the outside could think, oh no, like, you're an a-hole, you don't deserve this, and you're not going to get what you want. So I think it's kind of more a factor of a bunch of different things playing into what you deserve, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that does. It's intriguing. Like I never thought of that both like inside and outside factor. That's interesting. I like what you put in there. Wow.
Isabel with the score.
Isabel, score one.
And this is why I wait to say something. Okay. Me?
Jade, don't be playing.
Okay. For like, I would say like it's all perspective. Like basically all of you guys have been saying. It's really a hard like concept, like because there is no answer right here for it. But then I was like thinking of the question like, do you guys think everybody deserves love? Basic human things that people need. That's what I was kind of going with my head. And then when I think of like, oh, does everybody deserve love? It's a hard question, and that's the question that's been popping up in my head, and I'm not sure why. But for me, I do think that everyone deserves love, because like that's love.
Mm-hmm.
And we're humans and we need that. But then there could also be like, hey, no, that person doesn't deserve love because of what they've done.
But then, like, it's also, like, from the inside point of view, like, they can be like, I don't deserve that because this and that or whatever, but I don't know. That's just what I think.
That sort of brings up, you said, like, the relationships of, like, love, different types of love or whatever. It's always interesting to me whenever people say you don't deserve that. How could you fathom that you don't deserve something in a way?
Yeah, like what Jade said, like when she heard of like, oh, what you think you deserve, she thought of, do you deserve love? When I heard the question that you had texted out, like, hey, we're going to talk about like what you think you deserve, my thing was, do you think you deserve forgiveness? Was like the first thing that popped into my mind. And the first thing that immediately comes to mind thinking about that is A Silent Voice. We all watched that movie together, and that was just such a good movie because, yeah, like the main character, he bullies a girl who's deaf. She has a disability, and that's pretty much all he does. What he gets his friends to do is just bully her. And yeah, he was probably the most aggressive with it, but he wasn't the only one that was kept from doing it. So when she ended up switching schools, like the teacher, principal, everybody came in and was like, hey, like, who was it? And his friends, in order to keep themselves from getting in trouble, ratted him out. So it's kind of like he grew up after that just being bullied by everybody for years. And so it's kind of like, does he deserve that or not? Because he bullied the other girl. So it's just kind of like, and then the rest of the movie is kind of going on, like how he becomes friends with her and how eventually by the end of the movie she finally forgives him. But a lot of discussions I've seen about that movie was like whether he deserved what he got, like whether he deserved the bullying or not, or whether he deserved the forgiveness at the end. So it's kind of like that, like, do you deserve it or not? And I think, yeah, it's all circumstantial of like where you stand or not.
Yeah, definitely like where your brain is and your mental is, because like he could still be inside, like still bad inside, and like, oh well, I blah blah blah, or just still in the mindset of a bully, and he's just getting bullied or whatever. And if he's still in that mindset, then can you say like he deserves it?
Yeah, and that's the thing of the movie, because I don't think he thought he deserved it, because he didn't. I don't think he thought that he deserved forgiveness, or because throughout the movie he's like, yeah, he's like, he thought he deserved to get bullied and everything for what he did to the other girl. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, like a mix of everybody's kind of perspectives of what you think you deserve and then what other people think you deserve, and like the work that you put in, because he was putting in the work to kind of like help, I guess, like ease her pain in a way of like what he did and like trying to help her out with that, but at the same time, I don't think he thought that he deserved forgiveness, but she saw that he was like putting in work and like he was trying to make it better. So outside forces, I think they all thought he deserved it. So that's what he ended up getting. So yeah. So again, that kind of plays into what I was thinking. Like it is internal, but also external factors kind of that explain what you deserve or not.
And so you thought, do you deserve love? Isabel thought, do you deserve forgiveness? Did any of y'all have, or the other four, have an opinion on, like, did you guys think it, or was it just like a broad thing?
Kind of stayed more with like the first kind of stuff I said about deserve and earn, putting those together. But like, I also like to flip it. Like, let's say a criminal, they commit a crime or whatever. They go to jail, depending on the crime or whatever. What makes them deserve that? What makes certain people deserve the negative instead of the positive?
But going off of what you said, Troy, like I was gonna raise a question, and you already touched based on it. If you do good, do you deserve good? And if you do bad, do you deserve bad?
I don't know, because like bad things happen to good people, but then all of that is happening to them to build who they are, and like to build who that person is gonna be, and to find who they are. And then like good things, and you look at good things and they happen to bad people, and you're like, wow, like why are they getting that and I'm sitting here getting this? So it's really all perspective.
Yeah, that made me think of that song with Tupac. That's just the way it changes. Yeah. There's one song where he's like, you got to worry about a guy coming up that he messed with in the past, coming up and busting him because he killed his friend and like a brother of his in the past. So his younger brother comes up in the future later on and kills him. Like he's got to watch his back all the time. kind of like he deserves to die because he killed my brother.
Yeah, what does make somebody deserve
Yeah.
hate in a way?
Yeah.
And like, what makes anyone deserve anything? Because if you think about it, whenever it's really an external thing, because you people can walk on the side of the street and they're like, oh, they don't deserve that, but that's sort of like an internal reflection of themselves in a way. So it's a big mishmash of like, if I don't think you deserve that, then I don't think I deserve it as well, because now I'm like basically lashing out on you. Like, oh, he doesn't deserve that success because I don't believe I deserve that success. And so I'm going to fight instead of flight or whatever. The concept of deserving is so intricate and like full circle in a way. There's a lot of things that could be said about it. But is there anything that is given to you that you don't deserve? Is there any talent? Is there any like situation? Is there any person that you don't deserve? And then if you don't deserve it, what makes you not deserve it? Because like people are put into bad situations, but do they deserve that bad situation in a way? Because you would think yes, because they've been put in this situation. Maybe like this situation is supposed to bounce them off into a better situation. Like they have to go through this in order to deserve what's next. That sort of goes back to like what makes somebody undeserving of something.
Going off of the situation, like bouncing off, do you guys believe in the idea of you have to go through this situation to help somebody else go through theirs? Kind of like
Absolutely.
it doesn't.
Yes, I
like,
absolutely
okay, like
believe
it doesn't.
that.
Yes.
Like it benefits you, but you going through that is gonna benefit somebody even
Yes.
more in the future.
110%.
That's
like a question of, if you are going to help somebody with a situation you went through, then did you deserve to go through it?
Yeah, and did
Because
you?
then
Yeah.
like good comes out of it for somebody else. So it's like,
I feel like outward looking in, everyone will always say, oh, you didn't deserve that. Like once you're on the other side and you're on the good or whatever, you didn't deserve what you went through. But then the person could be thinking, I did deserve that because look where I am now. So I had to go through that to get to here.
Like you can't encompass everything with deserve. I think deserving is like a small part of it. It's like maybe you didn't deserve it, but it was supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, either way it was going to happen.
full circle, mic drop.
Everyone
Any
has a
episode.
different story.
Everybody has a different story, but so to leave it there, I guess. Yeah, deserving has a lot of different definitions and ways that it can go about, and there's no right or wrong answer. But I feel like today we discussed quite a bit of stuff, and I think we have heard some sides that I personally didn't even consider, and so I'm really glad to be able to hear those opinions today. Any ending thoughts?
I agree with Lauren. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of new perspectives that I didn't even come to mind. Like yours with the love, yours with forgiveness. That didn't even hit my mind, and it seems dumb to not even think about it. But yeah, I'm glad that we had this discussion to get everybody's perspective.
you said that we talked a lot, but I don't think we even scratched the surface.
Oh
Yeah,
my
this is
God.
one of our shorter conversations.
Yeah, this is like a 50-hour.
This is like, we can come back to this in 20 years and not understand.
Oh my God.
Part 2.
Look for part 2, and in the next 20, 30 years of us
And then we'll
still not
discuss
understanding.
undeserving and undeserving.
We've barely scratched the surface. That's very correct.
My question would be like, does deserve even matter? When like, no matter like, whatever end result you get, does deserve even matter? Like, you can say everybody else deserves state champion. I won. It doesn't matter if they deserve it or not because I won. I got it. So like, based on like whatever your end result is, before that saying they deserve this or that, if they don't get it, then what is saying that? So, yeah.
That sort of leads to like the external part of deserve in a way. Like, does it even matter that you just deserved it?
I like to quote a Linkin Park song.
You be going a lot over there.
He's going a lot, isn't he?
In the end, it doesn't even quote. In the end, it doesn't even matter. End quote.
Oh my gosh. And again, what does matter? Which leads to a completely
So much. Not today. That's another 2-hour conversation.
like
So on
honestly,
next
like
week.
what does matter? Like in the grand scheme of things.
That's called nihilism. Nothing matters.
We just fade
Does
away.
nothing matter, or does everything matter? Okay, but anyways, does anybody have an answer to the Bentley's question?
To be honest, Troy, my brain's fried right now. I cannot.
I feel like there are like your internal definition and then outside definitions, but everybody is an individual and part of a group, and there are things that are bigger than us. So it's like we can't define it. We're just people. It's like it has to be something else, like an overarching something, someone, something else that defines it. Because I'm not gonna like claim that I have any clue what the definition
I know what
is.
deserving is.
Like I don't know.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts?
Deserving something is a social construct. Just kidding.
You have any final thoughts,
I
Jade?
said, yeah, I feel like deserving is just such a hard concept, man, because there's like 50,000 definitions you could go, and then it just has to deal with perspective and what everyone thinks and all this. So I feel like the final answer is deserving has no answer.
Deserving.
Is that your final answer?
I'd like to thank y'all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you guys have comments or whatever, what do you guys think that deserving is, or what you deserve, or what makes somebody undeserving? I'd love to hear your opinion on what you have on this topic. Again, I thank you for listening, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye. 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 Bye.